Imagine an aircraft so fast that when enemy missiles were launched at it, the pilot's response wasn't to dodge, but to accelerate. This is the incredible story of the SR-71 Blackbird, the fastest air-breathing aircraft ever built. To understand why the Blackbird existed, we have to go back to the height of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a global rivalry, constantly searching for intelligence on each other's military capabilities. Early spy planes like the U-2 flew high above enemy territory, gathering valuable information. But in 1960, everything changed when a Soviet surface-to-air missile shot down a U-2 piloted by Francis Gary Powers. The incident proved that simply flying high was no longer enough. America needed an aircraft that could fly higher, faster, and farther than anything the enemy could intercept. The answer came from Lockheed's legendary Skunk Works division under the leadership of Clarence Kelly Johnson. His team was tasked with building an aircraft that seemed impossible. The result was the SR-71 Blackbird, a sleek, futuristic machine designed to cruise at more than 3 times the speed of sound while operating at altitudes above 85,000 feet. Building an aircraft capable of those speeds required entirely new engineering solutions. Much of the Blackbird was constructed from titanium because ordinary aluminum would weaken under the intense heat generated by sustained Mach 3 flight. Even the aircraft's fuel tanks leaked while sitting on the ground because the airframe expanded significantly as it heated up during flight, sealing the gaps only after reaching operating temperature. Its unique engine inlets automatically adjusted during flight to manage the enormous airflow entering the engines, making the SR-71 one of the most technologically advanced aircraft ever built. The Blackbird made its first flight in 1964 from the secretive testing grounds at Groom Lake, better known as Area 51. Test pilots immediately realized they were flying something unlike anything before it. Despite its incredible speed, the aircraft remained remarkably stable, though mastering it required extensive training and absolute precision. Once operational, the SR-71 shattered aviation records. It could cruise comfortably above Mach 3.2 and at altitudes exceeding 85,000 feet. At those heights, the sky appeared almost black, giving the aircraft its famous name. Yes, it became the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft ever built, a record that still stands today. During one famous flight, the Blackbird crossed the United States in just over an hour, demonstrating capabilities decades ahead of its time. The SR-71 carried no weapons. Its mission was intelligence gathering. Equipped with sophisticated cameras, side-looking radar, and electronic sensors, it photographed military bases, missile sites, troop movements, and other strategic targets around the world. It flew missions over Vietnam, the Korean Peninsula, the Middle East, and along the borders of the Soviet Union, collecting intelligence that was impossible to obtain any other way. Its greatest defense wasn't armor or weapons, it was speed. Enemy nations launched thousands of surface-to-air missiles in attempts to destroy the Blackbird. Whenever missile warnings appeared in the cockpit, pilots often responded by simply advancing the throttles. The aircraft's tremendous speed and altitude allowed it to outrun the threats. Throughout its operational career, no SR-71 was successfully shot down by enemy action. Flying the Blackbird was physically demanding. The pilot and reconnaissance systems officer wore full pressure suits, similar to those used by astronauts. Before every mission, they breathed pure oxygen to remove nitrogen from their bloodstreams and reduce the risk of decompression sickness. Because the aircraft consumed fuel so rapidly during takeoff and climb, nearly every mission required aerial refueling shortly after departure before continuing toward its objective. By the late 1980s, changing technology and budget pressures began to threaten the program. Advances in reconnaissance satellites reduced the need for high-speed spy aircraft, while the SR-71's operating costs remained extremely high. The aircraft was officially retired in the year 1990, briefly returned to service during the mid-1990s, and then permanently retired in 1998. Today, Blackbirds can be found in museums across the United States, where they continue to inspire aviation enthusiasts and engineers alike. Even decades after its retirement, no operational aircraft has truly replaced everything the SR-71 could do. It remains a symbol of innovation, engineering excellence, and the extraordinary lengths nations were willing to go during the Cold War. The SR-71 Blackbird wasn't just the fastest air-breathing aircraft ever built. It was a masterpiece of engineering that pushed the limits of technology, redefined aerial reconnaissance, and proved that sometimes the best defense isn't fighting back. It's simply being too fast to catch. If you enjoyed this look at one of history's most remarkable aircraft, be sure to subscribe for more stories exploring the machines, battles, and innovations that shaped military history.